What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. I am Wayno. If this is your first time here, I'm happy to have you. You heard? Today's Monday. We gonna get to it. But before we do, hit that sub button, hit the like, hit the hype. Hit the hype. Find the hype button. It's on here. Like I said, the saga continues. We still talking about this thug situation. Before I get into that, because I want to really talk about how this is affecting business, right? Which ironically, Thug made an album called Business is Business. But before I get to that, I want to talk about these so-called rules when it comes to the streets. So yesterday, somebody had said something to me about the mafia having rules. Like, yo, if you look at the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, you know what I mean? Even the mafia had rules. Ain't no rules of the streets. It's no rules of the streets. Oh, it's no women and no children. Women and children have always been on the menu. Trust and believe. When people was out here being reckless, when you out here being a criminal, you know what I'm saying, and you displaying nothing but recklessness and no self-control and no emotional control, and please don't start telling me about your uncle, the exception to the rule. Don't start telling me about your uncle or your cousin or your dad, what they never did. Generally speaking, these people have no control over themselves when it comes to the streets. Even if you get money, to be getting a lot of money in the streets is a very, very small percentage. But majority of it is people who are petty crooks, petty thieves, and petty criminals. And you not going to sit here and try to tell me about how people have rules and morals. Ain't never been no rules and morals when it come to money and illegal money. It's never been no rules and morals. It's every man play for themselves. And in any event that things get sticky, they're going to try to save themselves. Self-preservation is going to kick in. It's going to kick in. So while we talking about all these rules and acting like the mafia got just as much rats as the Bloods or the Crips. Uninietas, the MS-13s, every group. There's nobody who is exclusive to having people within their organization, their crew, which these is not organizations because a lot of them ain't organized at all. That will tell. No matter if you're from the West Coast, the East Coast, the Midwest, down south, Hawaii, I don't care where you at in the world. Please stop acting like there's been some street rules. No women, no children was a line in a Scarface movie, and that is fiction. None of this shit is real. Just wanted to get that out there. Now, this whole situation with Thug has been going and going day by day by day. It was a point in time where everybody looked at Thug as this upstanding, hold it down, keep his mouth shut person. And the more and more, let me tell you something, the more and more these jail calls leak, because, yo, somebody that worked that system is getting paid. Trust and believe. My man Seti Nash been breaking a lot of the news with the calls, but somebody's been getting paid for these calls. And what is exposed is that these dudes pillow talk and they run their mouths, not just about the streets, but about business. But about business as well. Now, I want to play one of the calls, and this call is Thug talking to his girl, Mariah the Scientist, about the business dealings of QC, a label that I once worked at.
I talked to Wham on the phone. I said, what you think he going to give you out that money? I said, you think he going to give you 75 million or 100 million? He like, shit. I'm like, be always real. Do you think he going to give you 75 to 100 million out that deal? Be always real. He like, hell no, I don't think that nigga going to do it right like that. But Scooter Braun offered Wham 150 million. Scooter Braun told Wham, I want to buy your rights. So I'm going to give you 150 million. Wham said, this nigga, nah, I'm cool. I got to bring Pete to the meeting. Man, that nigga went straight around Wham and called Pete and bought the whole label from Pete. The whole conversation started from Scooter Braun trying to buy Lil Wham, trying to buy him out of the deal too. He wanted to buy Wham out of the deal. Like, I want you to be with me. Wham like, shit, you gotta talk to Pete. You gotta talk to Pete about that. Man, nigga, Pete crossed that nigga red hot, worst way. I'm on the phone with Wham. He just like, man, that nigga Scooter Braun try to have the same deal with me, the same meeting with me. I tell that nigga, I ain't really doing that without Pete. You know, I'm just solid. Man, Pete go take the meeting without Wham and get the business done. Of course, a nigga get the business done for $300-400 million for sure, but goddamn, bro. Hey.
The next 4 months, the rest of 2025 is gonna be long as shit for Young Thug. Let me tell you, they on his ass. They on his ass, and rightfully so. And when I say rightfully so, it's because the way he's upheld himself. Now, the way he's upheld himself is as a person who is morally sound, a person who wouldn't do certain things or deal in certain ways. But this type of exposure, let's just keep it 1,000. This shit's scary. It's scary. The reason why it's scary is because it's showing y'all that nothing is sacred. Nothing that you saying is going to be held, especially if you in jail, though. I mean, if you want jail calls, bro, he's a high-profile person. You know what I'm saying? Probably one of the most important, if not the most important or highest-profile rap case in Atlanta since maybe T.I. You know what I'm saying? When he had what he had going on. But business is business. Let me tell you how this affects business. Now, P has some stuff, you know, to say about Thug and Roscoe, and he called both of them rats and said that he's no longer in the streets and he's not a street dude and the streets is played out. Now, Wayno, are you compromised because you used to work for QC? Let me say this. When the situation came out, I think it was last year with the 1090 Jake video regarding P, of course people was asking me what did I think? How do I feel? Guess what? I'm speaking on a situation based on the hypocrisy and all of that, but the specific situation with P, I didn't really have nothing to say, and I didn't have nothing to say publicly. You want to know why? QC not a gang. QC is not no street shit. I moved to Atlanta to take the executive vice president, co-executive vice president of A&R role with my sis, Branja Ringo. Went there. We caught some wins. You know what I'm saying? I took some losses too, but we caught some wins. And one thing I would say about P is that this is a person that put me in a position to make money, and I made money. Let's not get that twisted. I got paid very well. It cost a lot of money for me to A&R, so I got paid extremely well working at QC. My business dealings with P was business dealings with P. I never dealt with him in the street. I never wanted to deal with him in the street. I never had nothing to say about him dealing in the street because I didn't come here to be in the streets. With that being said, Thug talking extensively, not only about Little Baby, but Little Baby's business is all the way out of fucking pocket. All the way out of pocket. Because it ain't his business. And on top of that, it ain't Mariah's business neither. Now, this is the problem that a lot of men have. You know what I'm saying? Like, they run out of things to talk about, might not have much to say, and then start giving out information that don't need to be given. Now, are we supposed to even know this? No. But my dad used to tell me that the duck would have never ended up on a hunter's table if he ain't quack. Meaning keep your mouth closed. Keep your mouth shut. Now, it wasn't just that. You know, there's a lot of conversations with him and 21 Savage. There's one specific conversation is broken up into a lot of parts. I didn't want to go through all of it. Savage did say and talk some sense in the Thug saying, yo, I don't think that he did any of that to hurt you. And that's where the whole hypocrisy part comes in, because it's okay for his brother to take the plea. But on the phone with Savage, he says, I ain't tell my brother to do none of that. But then he put out a tweet saying that he did. That he didn't want his moms going through that. You know what I'm saying? That once he seen everybody else taking a plea, he told his brother to take a plea. Now, this is Thug talking about what he felt about Gunna while taking that plea.
But this what he did. He made, which they still got to prove the shit, though, which I don't think they're going to ever be able to prove because it's just not a game. He gave the jurors the agreement that it's a gang. He said YSL is a gang, and he know people on this trial who committed crimes in furtherance of the gang. That means you did it. You saying, you see what I'm saying? You don't know nobody on this case. Yeah. That's a lie. That's a full-blown lie. I know individuals right. On this case that committed crimes in furtherance of the gang. Like you committed, you people just so you can say slime big. Like That's real. That's what RICO is. That's RICO. So if a nigga get found guilty on RICO, nigga, you really just you got a nigga life took, nigga.
Yeah.
And you are 100% black. You don't know nobody on the case. I ain't ever committed no crime. Duke ain't committed no crime. Yak ain't committed no crime. Them the only 3 people you know on this case. Ain't now one of them committed no crime. So who the fuck is you talking about? You know YSL members on this case that committed crimes in furtherance of the game. Nigga, you just made it a motherfucking RICO case. You just made it a case. All these charges that they got on everybody in this case, 180 something charges. Ain't now one of these charges showing you that somebody committed a crime in furtherance of a game. That's what they got to prove. They got to prove that these people who killed these people, you did it to make YSL bigger. Not you did it because he shot at you or y'all shot at each other or whatever reason it is. They trying to prove that you did it in furtherance of a game. You did it to make your game bigger. They can't prove no shit like that. Ain't nobody committed no crime to make no game bigger because there ain't no fucking game.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So for you to say that, it's just like, boom, now you got a nigga who they say a big dog of this shit saying it, agreeing to it, pleading guilty to it. Now nigga gotta fight you in court, bro. And you lying. That's 100% lie. You don't know nobody on that motherfucking case but me, and Duke, nigga. The only 3 people you know on the case. So who the fuck is you talking about? Them folks made you lie. Them folks said, nigga, YSL must end. Let me say, yeah, man, nigga.
Yeah, fuck that nigga, bro.
Nigga, get out of jail somebody. Goddamn,
no,
man,
Saga got
what's up, bro? Like, man, what? I just feel like.
Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Listen. A gang is an organized group of criminals. That's what a gang is. Let's talk about gangs for 1 second. My problem that I have with a lot of these artists is this. Y'all promote gang violence. Y'all scream out gang violence. Y'all scream out gangs. Y'all scream out sets. Y'all entice violence, not only through music, but through IG videos, IG lives, videos like this.
Now they was at the shit check. She got rabies. What was that shit check? They got hood on security.
And y'all expect police and law enforcement to be naive. See, here's the thing when it comes to all of this, right? While YSL, they don't consider it a gang because Thug uses YSL as a moniker or, a name for his company, right? Young Slime Life, right? People know that Thug is a part of Sex Money Murder. I'm saying a division of the Bloods. People know that. It's documented. He's said it numerous times. He's thrown up bees. He's said it numerous times. Videos, interviews, just regular video, whatever, right? Gunna is part of the 60s, right? The police, man, the police are not dumb. I think the dumbest thing that artists do is promote and showcase themselves in a certain type of space or a certain type of light, then go to court and try to convince a jury of their peers that they are civilians. You cannot make us see you how you think you see yourself because y'all spend so much time promoting. It's more rappers that I be knowing with gang they in more than I know they song or they project. Because every picture they throwing up the hood. Every picture they throwing up the set. Every time they doing something, yo blood, what yo cuz, what up homie? Like every single thing that they do, it actually becomes way more of who they are than the actual artists themselves. We sit here for years and be like, damn, I don't know such and such about this person. I don't know such and such about that person. But you know what flag they wear. You know what they represent. You know what they're willing to die for. But see, that's the problem. That's the real hypocrisy. Is showcasing something, and then when the heat get put on, it's like, nah, I ain't. Now, what Gunna did was wrong. Yeah, everybody could say that. But it was okay for Thug to make a big mistake, but Gunna couldn't make a big mistake. I think that him even having to say all of that stuff, he didn't even know. He got blindsided. And what did people expect Gunna to do? Why sell it? Like, listen, I can't say what I would do. I can't. I'm not in that situation. I don't care to be, nor do I want to be. Can't say what I would do at all in that situation. But at the point where he said, is YSL a gang, and do you have knowledge of this gang, and did they use this to furtherance and all of that of the gang? Y'all wanted him to jump up and say, hell no YSL, no gang. It's a label. I've been signed to this label. I done dropped this album, that album. Yo, we live in reality. Y'all niggas live in movies. Y'all think this shit is a movie. This is not no movie. My question for all of that is, if that's the case, then why was Thug Pops saying we don't have a problem with Gunna and he didn't do anything that could hurt us? Now, the thing about it was, even with that being said, nothing that Gunna said was ever used in the case or against him. Ever. It wasn't. Now, one could say about where he was mentally or how he felt or where he wanted to get out, or because they say, oh, well, he wanted to get out for a girl. Some niggas love their girls more than they love their homies. Unfortunately, whether you choose to agree with that or not. But I hate the fact that it's so many dudes, and this is not just a Thug situation, but so many dudes that try to stand and die on this hill about squares and how a person be in a square and how they ain't never did this and how they ain't never did that and they never wouldn't do this and they wouldn't know what to do in jail. They wouldn't know how to survive. Guess what? It's not a normal environment. The average person shouldn't have to go to jail. The average person shouldn't be in a position where they got to commit crimes to feed their family. The person who is average that finds a way to climb up out of that should find a way so that they don't have to commit crimes. And you know you're going to get the, oh, but it's so easy for somebody to say, life is not easy. Look in the Quran, look in the Bible, look in the Torah. In none of those books of scripture will you find the word easy when it comes to life. Not none of them. But we're going to sit here and make excuses for each and every person. Life comes with tough decisions. Decisions that you make, the things that you do will follow you. And not only will they follow you, they will follow others. Mace once said, run with grimy niggas and die for shit your man done. Run with grimy niggas and die for shit your man done. You ain't even got to be the one that they looking for. You ain't even got to be the one that's putting in the work. All you got to do is be around. And that goes back to the whole situation about the guy who says something about how streets have rules. How many kids has lost their lives? How many grandmothers have lost their lives? I just seen a grandmother the other day, an older woman, I think she was 68 years old. 68 years old in East Harlem, was hit with a stray bullet. Bled out on the streets, man. At 68 years old, you know what it is to be blessed enough to wake up and be 68 years old one day and just going outside to run your errands, and you got to worry about these young people. Guess what? That's not a new concept, though, because they've been doing that shit. And people been making excuses and been saying no women, no children, instead of acknowledging the problem at hand. The streets is ruining everything. It's ruined our neighborhoods for so long, for too long. We got to rip that shit out at the root. We got to rip it out at the root, and we got to dissect it. You know what I'm saying? And we can't just tell. That's another thing. Oh, don't come to people and tell them that what they should do without no solutions. How many people want solutions, though? How many people will be receptive to solutions? How many people want to change their lives? What's going on out here? This is not just some rap shit. But what's it's doing to business also is it's tearing it apart. It's literally tearing it apart. Now everybody's looking at Baby, or they looking at P a certain way. They looking at Baby a certain way. They evidently looking at Thug a certain way. And I'm going to just keep it 100. I have a problem with white people talking about some of this shit. Now, listen, I know we talk about 1090 Jake and all of that. And 1090 Jake, I think he's a different case because 1090 Jake did go to prison and he was a part of street gangs and all of that. So his perspective comes from his experience. But when I see people like Trap Lord Ross calling 21 Savage a snake and a goofy and all that, I'm like, yo, bro, like, what are y'all niggas doing, bro? And it's not even about why don't you cover your own people. It's not that. But why do you partake so heavily in the demise of blacks? Because that's what it is. Beyond hip hop, calling it hip hop, this ain't got nothing to do with niggas' songs, albums, mixtapes, album options, none of that shit. It's criminal issues between black people. groups of them, ironing out differences, some using violence to iron out those differences, some finding other ways to iron out those differences, but it involves black people. And I'm just going to keep it 100, man. Listen, everybody could say what they want about anybody, but I have a problem. I'm going to keep it 100. I have a problem with white people speaking so heavily on black people in a certain way. But you know what? We give them the open invitation for it. We give them the open invitation for it. You know what I'm saying? Again, YSL Woody is the one who comes through with the logic.
Nothing gonna stop me from loving you, but what you do from this moment forward. You knew not to come on this internet. You knew not to let a nigga like Pee Wee Roscoe get on the internet and do what he did. You let Pee Wee do that. And Pee Wee got you in all this stuff. Pee Wee got on the internet calling people rats. Pee Wee got on the internet saying all he said. Now guess what? He made people mad. People when they dig up the videos. Now people don't dig up the videos. You are what you are, buddy. You official on the Woody and Charleston White team. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm okay with being a snitch. Because I know what I did. I know what I've been through. But, nigga, you is a snitch too, nigga. And I ain't happy about it. I'm mad about it. Because I've been knowing this the whole fucking time. And I didn't even say nothing. I sat right here and still let the blame be on me. Because of the love I had for you. But when y'all niggas come out of jail and y'all brought that stupid stuff out of here, I left that stupid stuff in jail. Y'all brought that stupid stuff out here. Yeah, I'm mad about it. I knew it. I knew it. I told all y'all, hey, bro, I did this for y'all because I care about y'all. I didn't have to do that for y'all. You feel me? I looked y'all in y'all eyes. Y'all need to get out here and disappointed everybody. Because y'all niggas just fought for y'all life and y'all had the world cheering for y'all. Y'all had the world cheering for y'all. Y'all had the world saying, free y'all. Everybody guilty, even me. Everybody guilty, even me. Everybody guilty. And y'all niggas come out of jail after God gave y'all another chance. I ain't do it. The lawyers ain't do it. Prosecutors ain't did it. The judge ain't did it. God did it. God bless y'all with a wonderful judge. They went by the books. There's nowhere in the world y'all supposed to be in front of that judge. No way. But God said, I'm going to give y'all another chance. And I might be failing. But one thing I know about God, God know my intentions. He know I ain't on here to cause problems.
And that's just that. I ain't gonna front, man. As this develops, we will continue to cover. I'm not gonna hoard this out or running into the ground. Doesn't make me happy to be talking about it every 5 seconds. It's just a real issue that's going on. And I think it affects more spaces than one. This is I do it myself. For the ones that rock with me, you know how we doing. For the ones that don't, eventually you will. Catch you on the next one. Peace.